Hello designers, this is Rebecca and this is your assignment 3 in the studio critique. So for this assignment, you were to create designs for two types of music media in your genres era. And I will just go on down. Look at this list of slides here. You were to include your album cover design mock-up, your album cover design, the outside front and back with the bleeds and trim lines. You were to include album cover design outside, front, and back trimmed, no bleeds or trim marks. Then the album cover design inside two panels with the bleeds and trim lines. The album cover design inside two panels trimmed. The album cover design lyrics with bleeds and trim lines. The album cover design lyrics trimmed. The album cover design labels A and B with bleeds and trims. The album cover layers labels A and B trimmed. Then for your second music media, you needed the mock-up. Then the cover design outside, front, and back with bleeds and trims. The cover design outside and front trimmed. The cover design lyrics with bleeds and trim lines. The cover design lyrics trimmed. The cover design labels with the bleeds and trims, and the cover design labels trimmed. Whew, that's a lot. Then some written reflections. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so first up, we have Eric. All right, so here is Eric's record cover mock-up. Really good. We've got some colored vinyl. It's a double album, or it just is, there's a specialty one. Really nice, like a collector's edition. So here's our inside design. Great. And here is our third mock-up, so we could see the back of the record. Okay, cool. Great, and here's our template. That works. I like that. Excellent. All right. And then here it is trimmed. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and talk about this design. I love all the bolts and the rust. There's so much texture. It's super grungy. Um, I like the fun graffiti and stuff on there. We have our logo on the back. We have our record company logo, and then we have good job with the spine. Excellent. Okay, so there are just a few things that I think could make this a little bit stronger. So, although grunge was in the 90s, there was still a lot of sort of handmade elements as opposed to super computer generated stuff in the grunge movement. I know that doesn't seem, it seems like the opposite of what you might think of when you think of like David Carson, like all he was using. I mean, he was using a lot of computer stuff, but he was still using a lot of like rub on and manual lettering styles too, because computer stuff was just really starting to get going, computer graphic design stuff. So with that being said, a little less Photoshop effects on these texts would really help to marry that text with the grungy background. So while I am cool with the nice heavy drop shadow, I am not stoked on the heavy bevel and emboss with the drop shadow. So like I like a metallic effect, but we're seeing like a lot of pixelation there, and that makes it just instantly feel computer generated. So see how the edges are getting real pixelated, almost like 8-bit, you know what I mean? Like low resolution. So I just recommend removing, like I think that you could still have with the gradients that you used, I think you could still have like a metal effect, but I don't think combining more than one text effect, like a Photoshop text effect, is making it feel grungy. The next thing I recommend is like with your drop shadow, maybe changing the blending mode of it. I would definitely change the blending mode of your text in your spine, or just like lower the opacity by about 20 degrees or so. I'm sorry, 20%. And same with this record label, like lower that opacity or change the blending mode a little bit. Uh, like you did here with this logo, like that looks awesome. This embossing here is not overdone, whereas this bevel is a bit overdone. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of really seamless stuff happening. So that's why the super high contrast things like sounds, echo, and tunnels, this white of the spine, and then this part right of the record label logo is just jumping off of the page, you know? Okay, great. Then we have our back cover, and I think this is working. I think I would like to see a list of song tracks on the back. I think that would be a good addition. You could even punch in, like, put another plate on there or something. Yeah, okay. Um, unless you, yeah, I was gonna say unless you want to put your song list here, but usually a record's going to be wrapped in cellophane, and so they will be able to open it in the store to see the song list. But that looks really nice, really grungy, good blending. I think that's working really nicely. Then we have our lyric sleeve. Looks good, looks good. So I'd like you to go through the lyric sleeve, and I think we could add a little color to this or a little something. Let me just look back here. You've got this beautiful rust color. Um, and you don't have to do this. I just, like to introduce color into text as much as wherever I can. And usually headers or little titles are fantastic places to do that. I don't want you to lose your contrast by any means, but I think you have room to play, or you can even make those titles, well, I was going to say you can make them bigger, but that's going to make basin wrap. So maybe don't make them bigger. Then I want you to look at your paragraph styles. They are all consistent except for this one right here. So notice the space between sewer slide and then your first stanza, or even between murky water and your first stanza. This one is a little bit taller than this. So these all need to be the same height everywhere. And then this has hardly any space compared to the spaces on the other ones. So keep that consistent. And I would really like you to go through and fix your orphans. So that's going to be a matter of selecting that whole stanza and increasing, well, if you want it to be like in a poem style, um, then maybe not the whole stanza, maybe just the line, but increasing your tracking or decreasing your tracking. And I don't recommend going any further than 30 in either direction. So if you're increasing your traction, then a positive, I'm sorry, not traction, your tracking, then go up to positive 30 at the most, but go in little increments like by 5. So positive 5, positive 10, positive 15, up to 30. And then if you're decreasing your tracking, not going past negative 30. All right. So decreasing will make the word all jump back up onto this line. Increasing the tracking will make the word at fall down with it. The other thing you can do is just simply do a hard line break before the previous word if you didn't want to mess with the tracking. But I think on this line right here, if you decrease the tracking of the second line, it will make the word light run back. This one, I think you should just break can't to make it join teach. And then this one, you may need to break have to join grown. So an orphan is any word that is less than 7 characters, including spaces. So we've got a couple over here too. All right, excellent, great. But I think it's a good, I love this feels very David Carson. I love the layering of text with your big numbers for each track. Side A, the side B, the beautiful texture of the crumpled paper, all of this awesome layering of letters in the background is very cool. I see letters on this side. I don't see text on this side, but I do like like this stamping you did down here for a little bit of extra grunge. It looks great, really nice. Very grungy, earthy colors too. It's really nice. Excellent. All right, so here is our template. That's the word I'm looking for. So with these templates, you want to pull this background texture all the way to the blue line, okay, on both of these. So that's what that blue line is there. That's your bleed line. So just even if you're a little be past your trim line, it doesn't matter. Pull it all the way to the bleed line, okay? And then there's a lot in the template that's hard to making your stuff hard to see. So let me just go ahead and okay, gotcha, great. So this is cool. I like this. It's a lot like the album cover, and you're still bringing in these like blurry big letters, and that looks really cool. And your numbering's all correct. We've got our record cover, record label. It looks great. This is awesome. I love that rest. It looks so good. Good work. Excellent. So here's our CD mock-up. Really nice. So whatever you do to your album cover design, apply it here. So if you do take out that bevel and emboss or, mess with your blending layers, then that's great. I do think there should be a bit more of a margin above here, but this looks cool here. That lined up really nicely. That looks great. Great. Good. Really good. Okay, so here our margin line is this magenta line. Hold on, that might be the trim line. Okay, I can't really tell. So here's what I want you to do. Um, Regardless of if it's the trim or the margin, we need to get this text on the spine within that margin and give it a little bit of some padding on the edges. So just nudge this text down a bit and then nudge this text up a bit so that you have some space. Same with this here. This needs to be within that margin line, if not a little bit higher. This is getting real close, but you have a lot of empty space down here. So I would just grab all of that and just nudge down a bit to give yourself at least a quarter of an inch space between the margin line and your text. And then it looks like this is the trim line based on this picture. So this background needs to actually expand out beyond the trim line to what would be a bleed area. Okay. And here's our trimmed. So see how close this is to our edge? That's uncomfortable. Same with this here. We need some space. And not uncomfortable in like a good grunge way. It's just, uncomfortable in like a graphic design way. Great. So whatever changes you make on your lyric sheet for the record, you can make that here too. But it looks great, nice and consistent, which I appreciate tremendously. And then we've got our template sorry, I'm just looking to see. Okay, we've got the template for the record. I'm sorry, for the CD. It looks pretty good. I do see like the trim line here with some white on the edge. So I recommend bringing that out beyond that trim line, as if there were a bleed there. And same with on the inside. Okay, great. But overall, the design is fantastic. And then, sorry, with this one, it will have all 12 tracks because the CD doesn't have two sides. So you want to list all 12 tracks there, okay? Great. And there wouldn't be a side A or side B. It's all on one. So I'm so glad you had fun. You did a fantastic job with the rust and all of this layering, all these textures. And I'm sorry I was talking bad about bevel, and here you are loving it. So, that's cool. I get it. Um, I think it's just, we just have to do a little bit of editing because we don't want to layer too many of the tools. That's all. Okay. And I know it is a lot of stuff for this collateral, but that's how a project like this is as far as, in the real world. So I just wanted to give you a good dose of it so that when you do get tasked with it, it's not so scary. Okay. Great work. Thanks so much. All right. Next up is Deanna. Here we go. So here's our 12-inch album cover design. Great. And here it is trimmed. So I believe this is the front. The front is usually going to be on the right side, just a heads up there. And then this is the back. But this is fun. I love all these really fun layers and The effects, you've got a lot of like dot gain there and film grain. It's really cool. I like the scratchiness on her face. Looks great. Good job. All right, and then we've got the inside two panels, really fun. This is like, there's like a Led Zeppelin album like this, and I love it. Like a family around a table kind of thing. It's really great. So as far as the lyric sheet goes, let me just go ahead and go to this one. Looks good. This is a lot of really great layering too. I like subline in the background with this like um, protesting crowd. Really nice. Nice quote. Really good. Looks good. So I don't know if you're into this, but since we have a little bit of red on this side, would you be down with making your names of your tracks red? Just because I like to introduce some color into the text, but that's just me. I'm always pushing it. Like, have fun with some headings and titles. I'm just looking through your text here, and it all looks very good. I don't see any orphans. All the alignment looks fantastic. Yeah, that's great. Good job. Really nice. Now here's okay, so you have a hole in your lyric sheet. That's cool. That's great. Really nice. Really good. Nice reference to Seattle. I like the pig on top of the sky needle there. That's great. All right. Good, good. This is cool. That looks great. And you even have your track times on there too. That's nice. Looks good. Really good. Okay. So here is um okay, the mock-ups. Sorry, it was a little out of order, so I got confused. All right, I'll take it. Looks good. And you got your track names on there. Great. Good. Oh, let me look at this. Okay. Good job. Good job on your spine. Oh, I like to see that. That's cute. Yeah, everything's great. Margins are good. Everything's good. This, okay. I was gonna say the label looks a little small. Like I feel like it should come out to here, but records do have those, so I think it's just the mock-up. It's kind of playing tricks on my eyes there. It looks nice though. Good design. Great. All right, cool. Good. Good. All right, so we went with a cassette. Nice challenge there. Looks good. Good job turning your text. Looks nice. Yeah, this is nice how it lined up. Everything looks great. If you were to change your lyric sheet on the other one, consider changing whatever changes you made there, make it here as well. But it looks great. So I think you had 12 tracks on the other album, and the cassette would have the same amount, just a heads up. Uh, so if you need to get smaller, then get smaller and fit them on there. I mean, I feel like I've used a magnifying glass on cassette tape lyrics before. All right, this looks good. So this one, these aren't as fun as your CD cut labels, but that's okay. I mean, I love the color still. We still have all the info on there that needs to be on there. Great, this looks excellent. Good. So I'm glad you enjoyed working on this project. Um, I I'm okay with all the layering. Like I understand that some grunginess feels minimalistic, but it's really there's still so many layers of texture. Do you know what I mean? And so I think that you achieved that. And your style of grunge that you created here is like really leaning towards like the punk rock aspect of grunge or the punk rock influence, especially because of how political the messaging is, which is great. Like I love it. So I think you did a fantastic job, and um, I'm glad that it pushed you to try some new things, and uh, sounds like maybe a little out of your comfort zone. So that's great. I think you did wonderful work. Thank you so much, Deanna. All right. Well, okay, next up is Rebecca. Rebecca O. Okay, so here's our album cover. Great. Cool. Nice and textury. Lots of grain there. Lovely. I love it with the yellow. Great. All right, so Yeah, this is working. I love this imagery with like this kind of explosion coming out, but um, it it's really cool. And like the gestures of the models looks really nice. This looks great. So we do need our record company label or logo, and same with on here. And then I do believe you want to rotate this 180 degrees. I think it's facing the wrong direction there. Yeah. So because we read top down. And then, but everything else is good. You could even put in a little barcode if you wanted to on the back. But I love the yellow with the black and with the black and white. Looks great. This is cool. This looks good. That's neat. In the void. Oh, this is fun. All right, so the lyrics are you have to turn it to look at it, and I like that. I like the color in your text. I love this blue. This is nice. Looks good. I'm just looking through to see if we have any orphans. We might have one right here, so I'll need you to check on that. And if that's the case, in here, right here, maybe here, definitely here. Uh, Maybe here. That one might not be. It might be enough characters. So an orphan is any word that is less than 7 characters by itself on a line. So you'll just have to go through and increase or decrease your tracking. Or if you'd like to, you can place your cursor in front of the word before it on the previous line and just do a hard return, which is holding down the shift button and then hitting the return key at the same time. Great. Looks good. Okay. Whoa, what's happening? Hold on. Top. Okay, so I am confused why it flips here. Maybe just so we could see it. I don't know, but this should look exactly like this one. I see, because you have top over here. Okay, I'm fine. I'm good. Okay, here we go. So now, oh, by the way, I like the people in the background, and this beautiful halftone texture is really cool too. I mean, legibility of those lyrics is hard. It's hard to read, but I'm not against it because lyrics are usually hard to read. Oh, sorry. One thing that I am against is the inconsistency and spacing between the songs. It's a little confusing. I don't know. I think you may have done that so we could see their heads. But I don't recommend that. I think it needs to be the same between all 12 songs. Okay. Okay, great. And then this looks good. Good job. You took your background layer all the way out to the bleed. Hooray, hooray. Way to go. The only thing is that this part might get trimmed. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. This is a record. I was thinking CD. Yeah, this looks good. So you'll need to include your record label company. I'm sorry, I keep saying that backwards. Yeah, your record label logo. And you can just put it over here and it would kind of balance out the side one and side two text. All right, so it looks like we went with a 7-inch single. Cool. So we have a whole new layout for this, and it looks nice. Really good. This is great. Love it. So we're using we have like an 8-bit font here, and then we have a monospaced font here. So we're getting a little more digital. I like this cool background texture. And you're keeping that nice scratchy, swirly void. So that's kind of tying it to the main album. That looks nice. Mm-hmm. All right. So a lot of times with a single, um, we'll have up to 4 songs on there. If you wanted to have the same song, you can, but usually there's a different version of it on the back, right? So it might be a remix, it might be like an acoustic version. Um, so it might be good to just kind of differentiate that. Or like a live version is another big thing that people like to do, okay? Okay, so I'm glad that you liked playing with the different textures and styles. So they did not have They didn't have 8-bit text in the 70s, and they didn't have monospace text really. So I recommend instead of the monospace, maybe considering like a typewriter font, because it still has that monospacing feel, but it's more accurate to the 70s and still very punk rock. And then for the word smile, that could also be the typewriter font, or you could choose this font that you had on your main record. Okay, that'll feel more punk rock. Um, the I'm just trying to see. I mean, they did have like these could be almost like a double negative effect, so I think that's okay. These crispy edges, though, I don't know. That doesn't feel quite so punk rock. Maybe rotating it a bit. If you rotated these boxes or just made them so they weren't perfectly rectangular, that might feel a little more punk rock. Um, I forgot for a minute because I was thinking by some of the graphics on here that it was new wave because it is very clean and bringing in some digital aspects. So that's why I'm recommending this other stuff. Oh, Riot Records is your record company. I'm sorry. Duh. So get Riot Records logo just on here and you're good to go. Sorry about that. Okay. Um, great. Good. Okay. So everything else is great. And then as far as scratch disk space goes, I do recommend going through your apps on your computer and seeing if there's any that you can uninstall. I recommend deleting your trash. I recommend deleting your downloads folder. Um, and if there's files on your on your computer that you can transfer over to that external hard drive and then delete from your computer, then that will really help as well. Things that you want to look for are the like start with the biggest files. They're usually going to be like video files that are just eating up your your memory, because even if you're using an external hard drive, you may run into this scratch disk issue again. And since finals are approaching, it's a good time to go through your computer and clean it out. Okay, excellent. All right, thanks so much. Next up is Rebecca P. Great. So here's our album cover mock-up, cute mock-up. And all right, we got a 4-panel here. Great. Okay. So I'm sorry, you said the black represents the hole for the sleeve. So there's a hole in the front of the record. I don't see that here. Oh, got it. It's a die cut. Okay, I'm cool. I got it. Cool. So then the logo's on the sleeve inside. Okay, fun. Took me a second, but yeah. So these are really fun little graphics, really cartoony. Um, and yes, so I recommend instead of stroking these outlines, the white areas, that maybe you give your cloud a different color, like a lighter, very light blue of this blue right here. Just bring it way, way, way down. And then you could keep this white line here, and you don't need those strokes. There's no need for strokes. Um, the spine looks good. I don't see Eons Studios. You could just put this Eons logo super tiny down here. Or if you'd like to just put the Eon Studios, you could put that there as well. Okay, great. And we have our track list, all good. Okay. And then this is the inside 2 panels, more fun psychedelic designs there. Great. Now here's our sleeve. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of psychedelic swirly fun in these and this one here, but then this all of a sudden feels very 60s, like Mary Blair, like it's a small world style, which Don't get me wrong, it's one of my favorite styles in all of history, but it's just not quite melding with the rest of your more organic shapes and stuff. And then the color palette completely jumps. So I am getting a little confused by that. Uh, and then there's our lyrics. This is fun. We do not need um, the black lines. And I would recommend, instead of just this full yellow background, consider a gradient with some of the colors from the rest of the album. The blues and the greens and the purple, magenta. But other than that, this is working nicely. And if you wanted to, you could change the color of your headers, um, just so all your text isn't black. Great. All right, great. That's everything we need on there. See, these gradients are working. That works nicely. Looks good. Everything's correct there. Great. So then we did a 7-inch single of the song Moonlight. And I'm seeing like references to the original album, and I think that looks nice. We got our logo on here. That works. The black is working nicely because it's like night. This represents like a nighttime sky. And this is almost like reflections on water. So like that's what I'm reading, and I think it's cool. I do recommend with the word moonlight though, instead of making it black, consider making it like this middle blue here. I think that'll look really nice. Get rid of all of your strokes. Stop stroking. There's no need. You don't need it. You just don't. You're working with enough contrast that you don't need strokes. And then instead of this gray, consider doing like like a bluish black. You know what I mean? Like something, instead of mixing the black with white, consider mixing the black with a blue. Uh, and it just will balance your color a little bit more if you do that. Oh, yeah, okay. So with this one, this is fine. If you change your lyrics sheet here, if you like change your color of your header, then change that on the other single as well. And then, I mean, this shape is more interesting than this shape. So, I mean, I think working with like a little bit more of an organic shape might be cooler. Great. All right, that looks nice too there. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. So for this, your background needs to be pulled all the way out to these blue bleed lines, okay? So just pull that background gradient all the way out there, or just add black all the way around. And then, because right now you have a white, unless you want a white uh, border. If you want the white border, leave it as is. I just wanted to bring to your attention that there's a white border if you didn't already know. Okay. Well, I'm glad you had fun with this. I think you need to kind of just pull your colors in a little bit. Like while psychedelic design is very colorful, um, it just is a little confusing when you're jumping from these blues and greens and purples to all of a sudden like yellow and orange. So I say just pull it all the way through the blues and greens and purples and magentas, and only use the yellow and orange. Yellow, I would say yellow or orange as a pop of highlight, you know what I mean? As opposed to this whole section is going to be yellow now. Okay, great. Thanks so much. Next up is Derek. All right. Oops, sorry. I jumped. Here's our front mock-up. Excellent. I love the halftone dots. It's really cool. And these effects in the eyes are so neat. Really nice. Super 80s. Super retro. Excellent. Okay, and then we have this awesome, oh, God, what is going on here? I'm sorry. Um, the back of the album looks really nice. These graphics are really cool. The diagonal of it all is really fun. Looks awesome. All right, and so this is our inside panel. I do have to tell you, you need to flip this over 180 degrees. It's because when you open it up, you'd have to turn the record upside down to look at that, just so you know. Just the top two panels need to be rotated 180. This looks great. The spine looks really good. We do need your record album cover, no, your record label, the company that has produced this album. They need their logo on the back of the album and they need to be mentioned on the spine as well. Okay. But I love all these diagonals. I like how this comes across here, both sides, and the color palette is so cool. I like this like reddish pink popping in and bouncing off her eyes and then coming in again down here. It looks really cool. Excellent. This looks fantastic. Really nice effect. It's like a duotone, but like there's more colors in it. It's very cool. All right, so here is the cover lyric sheet. Great. Hold on. Okay. I was just kind of looking for this color again. So we've got our side A. Yep, looks good. I do recommend you could play with your header colors. Okay. And then I'm seeing a little bit of spacing inconsistency. So you could fix that if you used paragraph styles. You can just set the, for example, if this is a header one paragraph style, you can, in the settings for that style, you can specify how much space you'd like below that line of text. Or if this is a paragraph style, you can specify how much space you'd like at the above that first line of text, and then all that spacing will be consistent throughout all of this. Because notice, like right here, there's hardly any space, but here there's like a good amount, and here there's less space. Here there's a little bit more. So we just need that spacing to be consistent. And then I'm looking for some orphans, and I don't see any, so you're in the clear there. Orphans are when you have a word that's less than 7 characters long on a line by itself. Oh, this is nice. Thank you. Yeah, great. Okay. And then I love that these labels are totally consistent with the cover art. It's really great. So you have your Sire logo here, so that just needs to go on the back of the album and the spine. Great. And honestly, you could just put the word Sire on the spine. You don't have to include the little circle. Good job. Good job pulling your colors all the way out to the bleeds. You got it. You got it. Now we're doing a 7-inch single. All right, so you just changed your palette. You just shifted it a bit, and it just has the one song on it. Oh, 4 songs. Okay, great. Sorry, I'm jumping around. I'm getting back in there. Okay. So this would be the single for Static Ether, since that's the first. Nope. Okay, here's what I recommend. Put Kaleidovision on as number 1 because it says Kaleidovision right here. Okay. So this is officially the Kaleidovision single. You're just also including a bonus 3 more songs. All right. So I would have Kaleidovision as number 1, Satellite Dreams number 2, Static Ether number 3, and My Mannequin number 4. So change your numbers there as well. And same with changing them on your B side. Okay. Great. Good. Looks good. Good job pulling all the way out to the bleeds. Same with on this. Sorry, I jumped it. Looks great. Very cool. All right, so on this one, I do think you could have a little more margin. I like to see at least 1/4 of an inch. So that may mean reducing the font size a bit. But like the spacing above Kaleidovision is good. Spacing on the sides, too tight. Great. Good, yeah. All right. I'm really pleased with your output as well. I think Universe is a really great font for this. and all of the diagonals feels very um, very new wave. Your imagery that you chose, your color palette, everything. So I think you did an awesome job. I love all the textures and layers, and it worked out great. Thank you. All right, next up is Tagarn. So here is our mock-up. It looks beautiful. Really nice. Really fun. Yeah, that looks great. So much texture and dimension. It's really nice. Yeah, so we have our little um, barcode there. We've got our record company. So we have our song track list, but it's kind of disguised, which is pretty cool. So make sure you put ABS records on the spine as well, okay? But this color palette's pretty fun. The yellow is jarring. Um, so you may consider maybe a pink instead to kind of pull that color balance over here a little bit because it's really grabbing my eye and pulling it over there. Wait, hold on. Yeah, 'cause I was gonna say that orange is pretty cool, but you have it in the background, so I don't know. Okay, this one looks good, really cute, and it really goes along with your concept nicely. Really nice work. So most of these, the contrast is pretty good. This contrast is hard. We do have a lot of highlight here and in his glasses, but overall he's pretty gray. Um, if this image is just because this is all kind of shadow here, so I can see why you made it kind of gray, um, to bring up the detail so that like his shirt is probably very dark and like started to blend in the background. But see how her hair is also blending and her hair and her shirt. There's room to make it a little darker, and there might be room to pull up some of the highlights a little more for some more contrast, okay? He's the only one that is the flattest of these others. The other ones have good contrast. Okay, great. Yeah, same with this image. It's just too flat. Maybe you could find another image of him that isn't. What's happening here is that one side is super highlighted and the other side is like a more drastic shadow. And I think that makes it hard to get a good contrast out of that picture. But this is a very fun layout. And now we've got this pink. Hold on, let me go back. Okay, so this is like a nice pink. This is like a hotter pink. So I feel like your color palette is jumping about around a bit. I'd like your color palette to be a bit more consistent here. So I see your background color palette. I see that here. Now this pink needs to be one of these pinks. You know what I mean? And this blue, where's that blue coming from? This blue? Maybe. If that's the case, that's okay. All right, so let me see if you show me. No, you don't. Okay, so with these lyrics, we never center align anything longer than 4 lines of text. So since you have paragraphs that are longer than 4 lines, go ahead and select that whole paragraph style and change the alignment to either left align or justified. I think you might like justified. And why do we have 2 columns somewhere, some places, and 3 columns in others? You know what I mean? So pick what you're going to do there. And then notice the space between these columns versus these columns. Um, you know, so we just need a little more consistency there. Okay. I like your headers. Your headers can stay centered, and the fonts that you chose are really cute. So that's working. Good job pulling your background color out to the bleed. Excellent work there. Good. Looks like, I'm sorry, your trim line is going to be this black line here. So on these, you need to get rid of that extra edge there. But everything else looks great. I'm not crazy about center aligning a list because look at how the bullets act. So I recommend, once again, left align or justified text. I think the justified text is going to act the same as the left align. So just a heads up there. Okay. All right. Looks good. Good job. All right. So now we got a cassette tape. Woo. Great. Oh, fun. Okay. Excellent. Okay. I'm not going to mention again that this is grayed out, but I do appreciate the color consistency now here. That looks really good. And this looks really good over here. Good job there. This looks good. So whatever changes you make to the track listing on the record, make those changes here. So notice you did left align these. So that's good. Just, choose one or three, I'm sorry, choose 2 or 3 columns and keep it consistent. Everything else looks good. Yep, cool. Okay. Notice that this is not black and white. This is like brown and white. So just double check that because everything else is black and white. So you want to desaturate that. Excellent. Okay. And then this one looks good. You could treat your tracks the same way, I guess, on your record cover, record label if you wanted to. But I do think that you could have a little more fun with this if you wanted to add some texture to the background. So I think the terrazzo concept is great. Like it really does meld well with the rest of your concept. So I think it was a good idea. I think it's really cute too. And I mean, I personally love terrazzo because I love like mid-century modern stuff, and that's what I associate it with. And it's making a big comeback right now. So there's that. But yeah, I mean, I understand if this isn't up to your standards. Sometimes we just gotta have it be done and not perfect, which I, respect. So, but overall, like I think it's nice. I think there's just, if you were to dial in the color palette a little bit more and then that layout on those lyrics, I think that's really all it needs. Okay. Great job. Thank you so much. And next up is Riley. All right. So here's Riley's mock-up. Great. In the back. Good. Excellent. Cool. All right. All right. So here it is with our bleeds. Good. Good. Great. Okay. So I love all of this imagery. I love this color palette. I love all the texture. These fonts are super fun. It's all working very nicely. I love this heart and like that it's like this target. It's really great, really nice. And I love Michelangelo. Isn't that Michelangelo? I think it is. Um, Leonardo? No, Michelangelo. One of the mutant turtles. All right, so my things that we need that are required and are missing is our spine. So you got to get your spine in there. Your spine will also include our record company logo. We need a record company logo on the back, and optional, if you'd like to, you can have a barcode on the back. But I'm happy to see the song lists and all of this really awesome imagery. Looks great. This is also very cool. I love it. Really fun. Looks great. I love it. Really good. Oh, this is great too. Really nice. Looks awesome. I'm just looking through to see if there's anything. Okay. So, everything looks very consistent, which I really appreciate. Would you consider changing the color of your headers? So just bring in a little more color because I love to bring in color. Let me see if there's any colors to play with here. I want to make sure that you still have enough contrast in your text, so you'll just have to play with that and make sure. Um, and then we do have a few orphans. So orphans are when you have one word by itself on a line that's less than 7 characters. So the 3 ways to fix that is to select that whole line of text and either increase your tracking up to 30 points at the most, or decrease your tracking down to negative 30 points at the most. Those are the first two. And then the third way would be to place your cursor in front of the previous word on the line above it and do a hard return, which is where you hold down the shift key and hit return at the same time. So you've got near, again, win, spin. Those are all orphans. Embrace is not an orphan. Okay. I saw another one here. Sky, new, grew, sorry. And day, let's see, y'all, scars, mine, fight. That's it. So just make sure you scan through to yourself in case I missed one and you just fix all those little orphans, okay? Good, good. Looks great though. I love the texture background, all the little cherubs. Looks really good. All right. So this one looks cool. I love the heart in the middle, and like this white cutout around it is also really nice. We've got Prism Records here, so just make sure that makes it onto the album cover. You see track 4 and track 1, but we're missing the word track in front of 5. Just a heads up there. And we're missing the word track in front of 8 and 9. So just take the word track out of all of them. It doesn't need to be in there. Okay, great. Looks good. Looks really good. Nice work. All right, and we went with a cassette tape. Good challenge. Cool. Ooh, this is a cool tape. I would buy this. Yay, we've got our spine here. All right. So we just have a 2-panel layout here. Looks good. All right. I don't know. Oh, that's the tape part itself. Okay, got it. Hold on. I see what you did there. Okay. So then we would need the back of this because when you open up the tape, you would see inside. So you could just have it be very similar to your inside 2 panels of your record because you don't have to have lyrics on your cassette tape. Okay. And we do need your record company logo probably on the tape as well. Okay. Well, I'm getting a lot of enthusiasm from this written reflection, and it makes me really happy. I'm so glad that you were having fun and you were really looking forward to this assignment. A lot of your classmates were like, I was a little bit, kind of intimidated by, all these templates and stuff, but once you get in there, you realize it's not that hard. And then I think that you did an awesome job with like all of this imagery. And you mentioned that you wanted to explore like the punk influence side of 80s New Wave. You also successfully explored kind of the goth side of 80s New Wave, like The Cure and Depeche Mode and stuff, by bringing in this like Renaissance imagery. So, in case you didn't know, you did that too. But it's all awesome. It turned out great. And I would not be able to tell from this work that you feel like you're still a Photoshop kind of rookie because I think you did a really great job at all the collaging. So great job. Thank you. All right, next up is Aylin. All right, so here's our album cover design. Oops, sorry. And the inside looks great. Great, good job flipping the top 180 degrees. Looks good. Okay, all right, let me go back to this part here. Good, so we have our album company, or record company, or listed on the spine, but we also need their logo somewhere on the back here, okay? And it's optional. You could include a barcode if you'd like. No pressure there. But I'm happy to see this really cute uh, slimy effect everywhere. It's really cute. And this text is so fun. I love it. Really great. Really good. It looks completely hand drawn. Like it's very cool. And your checklist looks good. I don't know if you need A and B on here. And I do think you should kind of line it up underneath the header a little bit, the song list. Okay, the inside looks great. Really fun color combinations. It's great. I'm just looking back here. Did our color shift? I don't know. Might just be the mock-up. Okay. I love a green vinyl. That looks cool. And we have our little sleeve. Looks nice. Easy peasy. And here is our lyric sheet. Yay! I love that the text is not black. Looks good. I'm just looking through to see how consistent everything is. It looks really good. Very detailed, all of these lyrics. hmm hmm Good. One more pass. Sorry, I'm just making sure I don't miss anything. All right. Looks great. Great job. Woo! And here's our, okay, here's our, oh, okay. Hold on. Where did our text go? So this doesn't, here it would be more of a template, right? So it would have some circle bleeds around each album here, as opposed to printing it out like this, because if these are the trim lines, that means that we would trim this as a big rectangle, where that's not the case. We trim these as circles, with a circle punched in the middle. So just a heads up on that. And then is Atco the record company? I just have to revisit the spine here. Yes, okay. All right. So I think instead of just, I know that you've seen just the band's name just typed out, especially on like 60s albums. I just love your logo so much. I'd like to see it here. So it's up to you, obviously. You can do what you want. But this is pretty cool the way this is laid out. I like that. All right, and then we went with a 7-inch single. Great. Good. So you changed your letters, but it's still like representative of the full album, and that's awesome. Looks good. Looks good. Great. I do like these. Um, I think if you were to add that to the long playing record, I think that would really help it as well. That looks great. I see what you did here. Oh, this one is the one with the template. Okay. Okay. Great. Well, I'm glad to hear that this helped give you some more confidence with working with like print media, especially weird print media like record labels and things that are strange shapes. Um, and I appreciate your feedback about how the um, the templates helped with laying out the artwork specifically for the templates, but didn't quite line up with the mock-ups. So that's good to know. So yeah, great. I'm glad that you learned a lot. That makes me happy. Thank you so much. All right, next up is Cynthia. All right, so here's Cynthia's cover. Looks good. Great. Great. Looks really good. I love all this texture, this like almost silhouetted style looks really awesome with the photos. Really cool. Super new wave. Turned out great. And then I like this copyright info. That really seems super legit. And so just make sure, I want you to rotate your spine text 180 degrees because we read top down, not down up. And then you want to also include the name of your record company right here. Okay, everything else looks great. Ooh, this is cool. Awesome. Just stare at that for hours while you're listening to your record. Great, cool, awesome. All right, so, oops, I'm sorry. Okay, so our trim line is right here. And if I was to create a line from trim line to trim line approximately, no, our text is very close to that line. Let me try it again. So I want to see at least a quarter of an inch off of that line that I just made there for your margin, but I think that you could go a half inch over. You have lots of space there, you know. So I'm talking about this space right here. So then when I go to the trimmed image, this is not quite accurate. It's still showing me the same amount of space. So if I line up my cursor with the trim marks like this, and I go to the other end like this, the area in the blue is is gonna print. The area outside of the blue is gonna be cut off. Um, so that's only this blue area is what should be showing on the next screen there. But you still have your extra padding all the way around. Your bleed has been included here, and that's not giving you a true representation of how far your text is going to be from the edges. Okay, so just give yourself, in whichever application you lay these out in, add a margin of about either a quarter of an inch or a half an inch all the way around this thing, like this, and then move all of your text into that space. So move your logo down, move this whole column over to the right, and then move this guy up and to the left so that it all falls within that margin. Same with on the other side as well. Okay, so then, okay, I'm just looking at everything, all the text. So we have a few inconsistencies that I'd like you to fix. Notice the spacing between your last paragraph or stanza and then the title of your next song is inconsistent. See that? These have little tight spaces. These have almost twice as much space. So just make all that spacing the same. As well as between all your stanzas, that looks pretty much the same everywhere. So you'll want the spacing between after your last stanza and before the next song to be bigger than the spacing between the two stanzas. So just, yeah, double that up or whatever you got to do. Over here, you've got an extra space before the word hands. So get rid of that little sneaker. And then that all looks good. So I do think that your headers could be larger, the titles of each song. You could also maybe consider making them all caps. And you could consider making them one of these cool colors that you have here. Totally up to you. Excellent. Okay, this looks great. We've got EMI here, so just make sure EMI makes it onto the album cover. So as these are right now, this black line is your trim line. So you're going to have a white border around these record labels. And on your mock-up, you don't have that white border. So if you really want it to be purple all the way to the edge, then you've got to pull this purple out to this light teal bleed line to get that so that the purple goes all the way to the trim and beyond, okay? But all the alignment looks nice, the way it's set up. I love this small text again. It looks super legitimate. For side A, we're numbered here, but for side B, I always recommend labeling these I'm sorry, numbering them 7 through 12. That helps to just show that these are the last six tracks. Excellent. Then we went with a 7-inch single, but we have six songs on side A. We've got a full album here. So a single is only going to have up to four songs, 1 to 4 songs. So you need to, is Bleed the Static the name of one of the songs? No. So pick one of these songs and then change this text to be that song so that this single is officially, for example, let's say you choose Tearaway. This is the Tearaway single. Then from there, Tearaway will be the number one, I'm sorry, whoop, will be the number one song on side A. Then you could have um, a second song listed. So you could have two songs on side A. On side B, you could have two additional songs, or you could have like Tear Away the live version, Tear Away the dance remix or whatever, Tear Away the acoustic version, something like that. But you would also have a fourth track there on that second side. Okay. And then also on a single, nope, we're good. I was going to say that the whole is bigger, but it's not always bigger, so don't worry about that. Okay. Great. Great. Yeah, I think it's super 80s new wave. I love that color palette. It's really pretty. Sorry, something I forgot to mention. Whichever four songs you choose, you just list the four lyrics, the lyrics for just those four songs on your lyric sheet for your single. Okay. But yeah, I think that I'm sorry it was stressful, but you did an awesome job. It looks so beautiful. I really love it. It's very new wave. It's real dark and moody. I think it's really cool. So nice work. Next up is Claire. All right. Cool. So this is Claire's cover. Neat pictures. All right. I'm a little confused. Hold on. I just saw 4 tracks only. So let me. Okay, I see 12 here. I think maybe I'm just going to get to your second thing. Oh, it's not 4 tracks. It's 4 sides. You got a double album. Okay. That's why there's so many pictures here. Okay. It took me a while to catch on, but I'm here now. Okay. Cool. All right. Great. So side one, side two. All right, I see. So you split 12 songs across 2 records. Very cool. These pictures are so neat. They're so scary. I love them. Great. So I wonder if you would consider not stroking your text and instead, like this color is so weird. What color is that? It's like a brown. And while brown usually looks good with orange, it's it's almost too like muted or something. I'm not sure, but it's just like I don't know. I wonder if you would consider instead filling it with the orange and then changing your blending mode or lowering your opacity a little bit, uh, because it feels like it's not melding with the graininess and grittiness and spookiness of this photo. You know what I mean? Like this is working down here. Um, but even then, like I think you could mess with the blending mode or lower the opacity just a hair. Over here, the stroked text isn't as bad, but I don't want to see that brownish color. Um, I don't think that a navy would work. It might, like picking this darkest blue or the blue in here. Um, but even just black, I think would be okay. Okay, thanks for letting me walk my way through that. Same with this color here. I think it's all the same color, but it's just strange. I think it's because this blue is so punchy, like the lightness of it. It's almost teal or something. So this brownish color is just not quite in the right area. These are really cool pictures. So fun, really fun. Love the swirly effect. It's really cool. Great. Okay. So then, um, this looks good. This looks really good here. I'm just scanning through to see if there's anything that needs to be changed. Everything is looking very consistent. Looks really good. Yeah, I think that looks good. I just want you to check on your spacing in this song versus your spacing over here in this song. I feel like it's a little tight here compared to the rest of the layout. So just double check all that spacing is consistent in Beach Bang. Okay, great, cool. Looks good. Good job. All right, so on this one, our trimmed area would be a circle. They're not, the record companies aren't going to print out squares and then go in there and cut them out with scissors. You know what I mean? So the template for this would have been a circle template that had a trim line and a bleed line. Okay, but I am happy to see that you're pulling your background photo all the way out past the trim line. So that looks good. We have our Zuni Music Group logo, looks good. We even have our RPMs, very cool. So whatever changes you make on that title, on the cover, I would make here too. I like this small text around, and we have our song lyric. I'm sorry, song titles. I'm sorry, let me go back to the cover. So Zoomy, you've got it here. That looks really cool. You also need to have Zoomy Music Group, or at least just Zoomy. I'm saying Zoomy, Zuni on the spine as well. Okay, great, good. And then you went with a CD. Great, that looks great. Whatever changes you make on the album cover, make here. This is too close to this edge here, so nudge that up there a little bit. See, you have space here. I don't know what happened on the mock-up. Maybe that's, yeah, I'm not sure. Really cool. That looks great. Maybe you just need to nudge that picture up in the mock-up, because it looks like you laid it out correctly in the other part. Okay. Um, so if this is still part of gray disposition, then I would have a second column on the same side. And then Lure My Sailor probably has more to it than one verse and one chorus, so then you'd have some room. Okay. All right, great. I don't know what these are. What did you say? Second music medium labels. Confused. Is this what would go on the CD? I think so. I think that's what that is. Okay, sorry, it took me a second. So you would need to put the name of the song on there and all the other info that you had, like your record album cover and all that. Okay? Yes. Great. All right. So I love all of the photoshopping you did. I think you did an awesome job distorting the images. Like they look super cool. It is grungy. It's very dark. It's almost like horror-ish, which is cool. I love it. I love the blue, like this. It's like almost like a cyanotype. I think that's really cool. And so I wonder if you were kind of mixing like a sepia tone with a cyanotype. Maybe that's where this color palette came from. But I'm hoping that you can work out the right brown or using a black or super dark navy. I do like the yellow or orangey yellow. I think that's working with it. Um, but overall, I think you did a wonderful job with your type, like distorting it. Your layout of the type law looks good. Just need to fine tune a few things, okay? Great job. Excellent. Next up is Dean. All right, Dean's cover. Cool. Awesome. Great job flipping that. Good. Okay, let me go back to this. It looks cool. So we need a spine here, but I love this image and I love this text. And this is great to see your logo on there. This looks fantastic. This looks fantastic. Barcode looks good. This photo is awesome. This photo is awesome. I love all this texture and scratchiness. Really cool. Really nice. Just get your spine filled out and put your record label name on the spine as well. Okay? Looks awesome. I love the pink coming through with that neon, all these kind of neonish blue teals. It's very cool. Look at the motion in this. This is awesome. Lots of motion in all this photography. It's very cool. Great. So here's our lyric sleeve. I'm just going to look through this. I like this texture in the background, and these photos look awesome. Really good. Okay. So with this, and we got our trim line. Oops, I'm sorry, I jumped. So this version isn't, sorry, this version isn't quite the trimmed one, like you are still including your bleed. Let me show you what I mean. So I see our trim marks right here. I'm just going to crop it using this to these trim lines over here, like that. So just this part that's in this square would be on the next page. So I'm looking at my margin between the songs and the trim line there that I just made. And if I go over to the next page, I see that there's a little extra all the way around. So the reason why I do that is to just make sure that your margins are okay. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm tripping. I think I'm tripping. Let's continue. So, so this does feel like two separate pages, and I think it's because we've got lots of texture here, but then this we just have a black gradient. So I'm just wondering if you tried having this texture over on this side, and if it was just too much with the photos. I don't think it would be too much with the photos. And you can also, not include the texture on the photos just as part of this, wherever the black gradient part is, because it's nice and legible still, even with that light texture in the background. Okay, and then I just need you to get your spacing consistent. So notice like how much spacing is between this song and this song. Oh, never mind. I see you're doing 2 rows of text. I think instead you should just do 4 columns with consistent spacing between each of the song lyrics there. And just let the bottom of each column be jagged, like you did over here on this side. And then I need you to also look at, what does that say there? Okay, look at your space after your title, between your title and your first stanza. Make sure that that's consistent on all of these. Like some of them it's taller than others. One of them it's missing completely. And that is it. Also, just double check your fonts. I think they're all the same font size, color, and weight. This song looks different, and it could just be the way it exported. But this one doesn't look as bright white as the rest of them, or maybe as bold. I'm not sure what it is, but looks a little different there, okay? All right, great. This looks good. Yes, I'm happy with this. And I'm happy with this. Good work. Looks good. All right, so we went with a 7-inch single of the song 8 Ball. Excellent. And Void. Great. Good. All right, so check those spaces, okay? Make them the same. I also don't think you should center this text because we never center text longer than 4 lines long. So consider left aligning or justifying. All right, we're getting a little close to the edge here. Oh, I guess that's your margin. Never mind, you're cool. All right. I cannot believe that you made that picture. It is incredible. I love this whole concept. I kind of wish I would have read this reflection before seeing the whole thing, but man, you just blew my mind. So I mean, there you can go back and change things. Um, God, it looks awesome. It's really cool. So you can change things if you want to add more of, whatever you feel is missing before the final when you submit all your refined work. I don't think it needs anything, but if you're saying there's stuff missing that you liked better, then it would be cool to see it. But no pressure. Okay. Great work. Thank you. All right. Next up is Kylie. All right. Oh, it turned out so cute, Kylie. Really gorgeous. Really gorgeous photoshopping. All right. So I do see your bleed marks. And let me zoom out so everybody can see. Okay. This is your trim line here. So we need this background to expand past that so that when it gets cut, there's no chance of any of this white paper getting added to the edge of the image. So that's what the bleeds are for. So extend that background out past there to your bleed lines in your document. All right. But this is some incredible photoshopping. It looks so cool. I love it. And I love the bendiness of these light bulbs. Like, it's really fun and it's, perfect for the title of the album. I love how everything is glowing. She's even glowing. Like, it's very cool. Looks great. So with your spine, rotate that 180 degrees because we read the spine from the top down. And then just make sure you have Atlantic Records down here at the bottom. You can just put this logo. You can make it super tiny and put it down there or however you'd like to do it. I don't think that you need to pull this tracking so far on all this text. I think this text is a little easier to read when the tracking isn't so wide. And then I also don't think that the song list should be centered. Um, and I think that this text should be down here. Okay. As well as the barcode should be down here somewhere. So just maybe, uh, you know, have this, yeah, I'll just let you figure that out. Okay, great. So here's the inside. Fun. Oh, cute. Okay, that's great. She's so cute. This is nice. I like that. That's fun. We have a whole nother color palette here. Okay. All right. Wow, fun. Hmm. That's a little weird. Hold on. Let me go back to the cover. So, what is that part? Oh, it's the light bases. Okay. See how these light bases got a little crazy? That's all right. Okay, fun. Okay. Let me ask you, would you consider changing this yellow that you have throughout this artwork to this yellow? I think you're using your branding colors. Okay, never mind. Don't worry about that. All right, great. So with these, yes, we really don't need to track this out so far, like anywhere in any of this whole album. So I think reset it to the regular tracking, including on the previous pages as well. And then I usually don't like when you go from more than one column to one column. but I think you did that so that you could have this down here. So um, I'm okay with it here. Okay. And then consider maybe changing the color of your titles just to one other color all the way through this document. All right. Just making sure everything else is good. Yep. Okay. Good. Great. Great. Okay. So once again, tighten up the tracking everywhere. And I think you should include the band's logo on here. But everything else looks great. What's up? Pineapple chunks. Okay, cute. Great. Yep, just tighten up that tracking. That's really the only thing on that one font. And then band logo on these labels as well. Great. I'm so happy to hear that you actually, used a piece of paper to fold it up and figure it out because I think that is so helpful. I do that with brochures and book covers sometimes, just to kind of as a little problem solving exercise, And I really do think that your all of these designs really show rhythm and movement successfully. So way to go there. I think it's really cute, super 70s, like you nailed it. So yeah, just a couple little tweaks and you're good to go. Great job. Thank you, Kylie. Next up is Stephanie. All right. Great. Really fun. Looks good. Okay, so I love the cover. Yes, I think this looks a lot better with just the one match. Really cute graphic here. I love it. I think it turned out really nice. I love this really neat texture that you used. It's almost like a scrapey grout. It looks good. And then we do need a spine, and we need some tracks listed on the back of the album, or they could be down here, as well as the record label logo, and the record label needs to be on the spine too, okay? You might want to just move this barcode over a little bit to have it kind of floating over here. Most of the time, they're not jammed in the corner. Okay, great. Then this looks nice. Okay, this is cool. So I love the way you laid out these album or the song, the track names. Um, Maybe you could put that on the back, but then you're like, what am I going to put on the inside? I don't know. Cool. Okay, this is taking on a completely different feel. Hold on. That's really cool. I love that. That looks awesome. Okay, so with this is laid out in such a clean way, and with all these like underlines and vertical rules, it feels like a menu. So while it is a gorgeous menu, it's doesn't feel very punk rock. So I think we lost the punk rockedness with, look, you've got this handwritten kind of font, right? You've got typewriter font in the background. Now here we've got like clean, more business-ish, you know what I mean? And we're also centering everything. We don't center anything that's longer than 4 lines, but I'm okay with the centering in this case. I just think you need to change your fonts. So consider changing that body font to maybe a typewriter font of some sort, and then change your headers. You can keep it the same font and just have it be larger in all caps like you have, but I don't think you need the underlines. If anything, maybe change the color of the font. Uh, you could also change it to that handwritten font for the headers too. Okay, get rid of the vertical rules and the rules above the logo. We don't need that. You know what you could use if you wanted to separate some things are those little matchsticks. Great. Now this, oh, that's the record. Hold on. Okay. So you were going to have your record be, let me see. No. All right. So if you wanted your record to be a graphic, that would need to be here on the mock-up. Um, this is just too tiny to read. And so that this would all be in all of this area. You know what I mean? And I can't see it, but make sure that you have your record company logo on this on the labels as well. Okay. And we went with cassette tape. Hooray! Good job. Okay. You got your record company on this spine. I think you could sit these side by side so that the name of the album could be a lot larger. But that looks good. And then whatever changes you make to the lyric sheet on the album, make them here too, okay? Great. This looks good. Good. I'm so glad that this was fun for you or enjoyable. And I'm also really glad that it didn't feel too daunting because you already had so much of your decisions made with your branding and everything like that. So that is perfection. I love hearing that. And I think you did a really great job. I mean, it is very punk rock and grungy, so it's wonderful. You did great work. Thank you so much. All right, next up is Yuki. Great. All right. Lovely. Really nice. Okay, cool. Oh, great. So it's a die cut. Cool. Really great illustrations. Super psychedelic. We've got lots of vibrating colors. Looks really good. Good band photo. Got a little note for them with your track list on the back. Great. I'm just gonna see what's next here. Okay. And then here's the outside. Why is he so sad? Okay. Really nice. So the only thing missing is our record company logo. So just make sure that makes it on the back of the album and the name of the record company is on the spine as well. But everything else is good to go. It looks cool. This texture is lovely back here. I love those two colors together too. This looks really nice as well. Ties in nicely with that cover. And everything looks really good here. Really nice layout. I do see an extra space right here, so just make sure that your spacing is consistent between all of your stanzas, okay? So this looks a little taller here, this looks a little taller here. Get a bigger gap there. All right, so those just need to be fixed. Everything else is good. Great illustrations, really nice. I love all the color throughout him. That looks really cool. Really cool. Nice work. Looks great. So we got our Rainbow Records company. That just needs to make it on the back of the record. Or, yes, that's right. The record cover. Good. I love how you wrapped your song names. That looks awesome. This looks super legitimate. Love it. Good job with your bleeds and your trims. Looks good. So we went with a 7-inch single. All right. So I just need you to choose only up to 4 songs for this. So pick which 4 songs it is and then put those on the back and right here. And then on the labels as well, just the 4 songs. So 2 songs on side A, 2 songs on side B. Wow, I'm so happy you used Blender. It looked so good. And I think that um, I would have no idea that you had difficulties with the lyrics layout because it's super clean. They look really great. I think because you used InDesign, that was a very smart choice. When you're using that much text, InDesign is the way to go. Um, yeah, and I think all the illustrations are beautiful. You did a really great job. The cutout, the die cut is way cool. Awesome work. Thank you so much, Yuki. All right, and next up is Ray. Cool. Nice mock-up. Great, it looks good. Ray, next time, can you make your slide background white for me? It just helps to show the colors exactly how they're supposed to look. Sometimes the gray, even though it's neutral, will kind of mess with our eyes on the screen a little bit. Okay, this looks good. Good job on that template. This looks great. Really nice. So we just need to flip our spine text because we read the spine top down, and then make sure that we have our record company logo somewhere on the back, and we say the record company name, or have their logo super tiny here on the spine. I also think I've never seen parental advisory colored. I don't know if it's required to be black and white. Just a heads up. I'm fine with you leaving it like this as is for sakes of the assignment. Looks great. Really good. I like their like that these are like signed. It looks really cool. I like the style too that they're signed in. This looks great. All right. Yeah, like it's like a modern, all the typography is like modern and clean. It's all very consistent throughout from the cover to this lyric sheet. It looks really nice, really pro. And I'm just making sure everything is consistent through here. I'm just scanning it. Looks really good. You may consider changing your header colors to your lighter green color just for fun. I like to have colored headers and titles, but it's up to you. You don't have to. It's not a requirement. This looks perfect. Good job. Nice work. Yay, we went with a tape. Good. I think you should change your logo to the colored version because it's just too hard to see on that background. On the cassette, list your tracks, okay, on each side and have it say side A or side B. Great. Okay, so we are missing some stuff here, like a barcode and, producer info. I don't think that was required though. And then I'm just looking at your layout here. Okay, looks really good. So the only thing I see is one widow right here. So if you could get that text back over here on this side, I don't know if you could take one line of text out from somewhere else, or honestly, you could just delete that line of text, but it needs to be with at least one other line of text. Everything else is good to go there. Great. And then I already told you about those. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like organizing all the aspects of the album correctly that's part of the whole learning thing, right? Like what do I flip? Which direction? How's it going to look once it's printed out? And how do I fit all these lyrics onto, for you, just one panel? Like that's a big task. And I think you did a great job. I think it's all very clean and looks super nice. And I also would be totally into listening to this group. So good job there. And I'm glad that you had so fun with the photography. I think it looks awesome. Really nice. Everything's very consistent. Looks great. Great job, everyone. Thank you so much.